Acting Middlesex captain Chris Rogers scored his second 100 in 3 games to put his side in complete control of their LV County Championship match with Somerset at the halfway stage at Lord's, a place where Joe Denley also scored a valuable ton. Resuming on the second morning on 130 for 4, Somerset lost 3 wickets before they'd added a single run in an extraordinary start. Craig Keyswetter went first ball, edging expansive drive off Gareth Berg behind. Then to the 4th ball of the day, Josh Butler inside edge to delivery from Tim Murtagh back onto his stumps. Remarkably, a 3rd wicket was down in 5 balls as then Craig Overton gloved a well-directed bouncer from Murtagh to John Simpson. Finally, Somerset got off the dreaded score of 130, but a 4th wicket had fallen inside 10 balls when Alfonso Thomas played down the wrong line to be comprehensively bowled by Berg. For anyone coming in a few minutes late, they must have wondered what on earth had gone on, with Somerset now on 133 for 8. Not for the first time in recent games, they now relied on Peter Trego, who added 31 runs with Trego Dockerell as no wickets fell for an hour. Dockerell was out for 5 to Toby Roland-Jones, who finished off the innings when Trego pulled him to Owen Morgan in the deep for 38. With Corey Collymore still off the field injured, Middlesex would have been delighted that their 3 remaining seamers had dismissed their opposition for 173. The weather had already played a part on this showery day, and with the forecast not good for the next day or two, Rogers seemed to want to make the most of every moment while there was play. He was soon playing his shots, scoring the lion's share of an opening stand of 40 with Sam Robson. He took some risks, but ultimately they paid dividends. Robson's contribution to that 40-run stand was 9. He then gave Somerset hope when he was LBW to Thomas. But Rogers was racing along, playing his shots in all manners of ways to all parts of the ground. He came into this match with a big undefeated 100 against Lancashire and a 98 last week in the win over Sussex, so he is a man at the top of his game, something Somerset was soon discovering as the Australian reached his 50 off 62 balls with 8 fours included within. The pitch for this match is over towards one side of the Lord's Square, meaning a short boundary towards the Mound and Tavern stands, a boundary Denley was soon making the most of after his arrival at the crease. Indeed, boundaries from both Denley and Rogers started to come thick and fast as none of the Somerset attack could stem the flow of runs. Rogers simply looked superb. He's batted a lot with Denley of late, the 2 players enjoying the idea of spending time at the crease together. Denley, like Rogers, is in good touch, and he too made it to a comfortable 50 off 76 deliveries, 8 of which had brought him boundaries. Having just missed out on a second successive 100 on this ground against Sussex, Rogers had slowed down in the 90s and then chose a shot at odds with the rest of his brilliant innings to get to 3 figures. A Chinese cut nearly ended his knock on 99, but the 100 was reached and it had taken him 139 deliveries. With both batsmen past their personal milestones, Middlesex rocked on in the afternoon. It was all becoming a bit one-sided. Denley celebrated a 150 partnership by producing a big hit off Dockerell, which went way over the short boundary, while Rogers just went berserk. Arul Sapaya was brought on and soon taken off again as Rogers smashed him for 2 sixes in the space of 3 balls. That boundary was looking even shorter to him with every hit. He also struck Trego for 2 successive 4s and this beautifully timed 6 off his legs. Middlesex were doing to Somerset what they have done to a lot of teams over the last couple of years. Rogers' 150 was soon reached. He needed only 28 balls to go from his 100 to the 150, which had now been scored off just 167 deliveries. The way he was going, he would soon be scoring at faster than a runner ball. The 200 partnership had now also been passed, and the lead for Middlesex was growing rather too quickly. So it was with some relief for the visitors that for once, Rogers didn't middle this pull shot off Trego to be held in the deep by Sapaya. In 4 1/4 hours, Rogers had scorched his way to 173. He was out to end a brilliant partnership of 245 made in 52 overs, but even with Rogers gone, the runs kept flowing. David Malan was quickly into his stride, while Denley reached his second 100 of an excellent first season for his new county. A delightful flick through mid-wicket off Jamal Hussain took him to three figures off 168 balls, that being his 12th four to go with his 1-6. It was a wonderful knock from the former Kent man, who, like Rogers, passed 500 championship runs for the season on this day. By the end of a thoroughly dominant day for the Londoners, the 300 had been reached in double quick time. This was the 40th four of the Middlesex innings. Both Trego and Hussain were hit for more than 5 runs per over. Middlesex will now hope that the promised weather forecast doesn't materialise. With Denley on 105 and Malan on 24, they've already posted a total of 321 for 2 from 69 overs, to lead by 148 runs at the halfway stage of a hitherto one-sided contest.